Hi, everyone, and welcome to the GaDOE community. I am Jody Ann Henry, and I will be your PLC moderator for middle school theater. I am so excited that you have chosen to join us. This is a space for us to collaborate, for us to network and share and find resources that is necessary for our classroom. I am excited, and I hope you are too. I would like to take this time to tell you a little bit about myself. As I thought about how to exactly summarize myself in a few minutes, I thought of the quote, "We are the sum of our total experiences. Those experiences make us who we are at any given point in our lives." And I think this is so true. I am today because of the experiences that I've had over my lifetime, as well as a few individuals who have been quite instrumental in impacting my life. At this time, I would like to share a little bit of my life experiences as well as the individuals who have been quite influential throughout my life. My late mother, Jennifer Henry, I am who I am because of her, because of all the values that she's instilled in me. My daughter, Janae, she is 6 years old. She keeps me grounded. She reminds me to not to take life so seriously, to laugh a little and have fun. She brings out the childlike side of me. My family, my sister, who's my best friend, my dad, and my nephew, they are my safe space. After a long day of work, I'm able to come home and just be with them and have fun. Um, my mentors have been very influential in my life. I they've given me a lot of nuggets and advice that have allowed me to become the strong woman, the strong artist that I am today. Those individuals are Dr. Lindina Thomas, Ivy Armstrong, Anna Taylor Spence, Diana Henry, Mark Duncan, Angela Wade Moore, and a host of others. One of my proudest accomplishments to date is graduating with my MFA degree. I graduated from the University of Louisville in 2014, and this is my proudest moment to date because of all the obstacles that I faced in my last year of that program. During my last year, I lost my mother. I was with child. So dealing with those issues and trying to complete my thesis were extremely difficult. And being able to overcome that reminds me that I'm able to overcome anything else in life. I'm also an author. I published a poetry book during my senior year of high school, and I also published a memoir for my mother in October of last year. I am also an actor. So outside of teaching, that is my first love. Whenever I can find the time, usually during my summers, I try to audition and still keep myself active in that way. Outside of acting, during my spare time, I enjoy spending time with my family, catching up on the latest Netflix series, and just taking a long walk in nature. It is my way of relaxing and clearing my mind. I've been a student of the arts since elementary school. I did my first performance in the second grade, and ever since then, I've stuck with acting and performing and just theater in general. So here's a little bit about my journey with theater from elementary school until present. As stated, my first performance was at MCB Prep School in Jamaica. My principal, Mrs. Angela Moore, she selected me to present a one-page welcome speech at our graduation. At the time, I was extremely nervous. I'm an introvert. So having that opportunity was something that I dreaded at the time. But of course, I took the challenge. I presented the speech. And at the end of it, I realized how comfortable I was on stage and how much I enjoyed it, ironically. And ever since then, I've participated in my school's performances. I've done competitions, represented my school across Jamaica during that time. Of course, when I migrated to the United States, I auditioned for Norland Middle's Theater Magnet program, and my love for theater deepened. My theater director, Miss Tanisha Seidel, she really reminded me that even as middle school students, that we can have the discipline and the professionalism that it takes to be a young artist. Her expectations of us were really high, and I still hold that today as I deal with my students. I went on to graduate from New World School of the Arts High School. Two of my teachers there, James Randolph and Octavia Campos, really encouraged me and helped me to realize that acting is something that I might actually be able to pursue professionally, not just as a craft, not just as a way to express myself, but something that I really have the ability to do. I went on to pursue my Bachelor of Art, my bachelor's degree. I went on to pursue my bachelor's degree in theater, and I minored in arts communication and media studies at Nova Southeastern University. During my last year there, my chair of our theater department, Mark Duncan, encouraged me to pursue my master's degree. At the time, I was really apprehensive. I'm like, I'm done with school. But I did take his advice, and I auditioned for U of L's theater program as well as other MFA programs. Needless to say, I attended the University of Louisville, and I graduated my MFA as well as a graduate certificate in African American Theater Studies. I moved to Atlanta, and I decided to teach high school. I decided to pursue a Master of Arts degree in Fine Arts Education at Brenau University. Now, my time as a student of the arts really prepared me as a teacher. I've adopted the motto, changing the world one child at a time. And it guides my teaching philosophy and my outlook on teaching. I've been teaching for the last 9 years. I started out as a graduate teaching assistant at U of L. I taught the intro to theater classes as well as their acting for non-major class. And during my third year, I taught a lecture class, African American Women in Theater. I also was an acting instructor at a community center in Louisville. Upon graduating and moving to Atlanta, as I mentioned before, I started to teach high school. I taught high school in Fulton County for 3 years. I left to pursue my Master's of Arts degree, and I student taught at a middle school in Gwinnett County, as well as a high school in Henry County. And then upon graduating, I am now a full-time teacher in DeKalb. I teach high school theater. After teaching in several different schools and different school districts, going from teaching in higher ed to teaching high school, I've been able to develop my own style of teaching, and I've been able to decide on the type of culture that I would like to create in my classroom. These are the courses that I've taught. I taught fundamentals of theater. I've taught acting 1 through 3, as well as intro to acting to my middle school students. I've been able to create a classroom environment that allows all my students to feel comfortable and to feel a part of an ensemble while maintaining my position, as a teacher of the classroom, the leader. I really strive to insert myself as a part of the ensemble, where I facilitate student learning, but I also participate in a lot of the activities. I oftentimes demonstrate whatever I'm expecting of them to do. I would do it first to set an example. And that allows them to see if I fail, if I mess up, and they tend to feel more comfortable and have a willingness to try and to take risks. I encourage my students to have a voice, to feel comfortable enough to question, to use critical thinking and problem-solving skills to facilitate their own learning. I oftentimes start my class off with a question of the day, and then we explore throughout the classroom, doing the different activities to help them discover and find their own answer. And then we talk about their experience, and then I'm able to correct any misunderstandings that they may have, or guide them so they can really understand the point of my lessons. I tend to use a lot of projects. My classes, every unit, we oftentimes end with some type of project that allows them to demonstrate the mastery of standards for that particular unit. My students have a variety of skills, and currently, I teach a fundamentals of theater class. So we cover a variety of topics relating to theater. And I realize that a lot of my students have different skill sets, different interests. Some are more interested in the acting part, some are more interested in tech theater. So I try to make sure that my projects are meeting the needs and the interests of all my students. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the highlights of my theater program. Each semester, my students have a public performance for the school as well as for their families. At times, I invite other classes to watch their performances in class if we're not able to have a public performance at the end of the semester. I also like to collaborate with other teachers from different subject areas at my school. In the past, I've collaborated with a food and consumer science teacher, as well as the special education teacher, the guidance counselors, as well as other teachers within my department. My classes have performed for our special needs students, so they'll write original plays or they'll adapt fairy tales, and then we'll present them for our special needs students. I've also have them present scenes during the ninth grade assembly for our incoming ninth graders, and they would write scenes about different issues that high school students face, and just to give advice to help these ninth graders navigate through high school and to allow them to see what the expectations are. We've also participated in several other school performances for different meetings and different groups. We've also collaborated with our SAD every year, creating a every 15-minute video that highlights drunk driving and the consequences of that. I've also started a thespian troupe. I started this in 2018, and that year my students were able to attend their first thespian conference in Columbus, Georgia. They were extremely excited for that opportunity, and some of the students that year qualified to compete in the nationals. They were really proud of themselves for that. My students have also competed in the AXO competition, as well as the August Wilson monologue competition. I also encourage community involvement. So my drama club usually visits the nursing home during the holidays, and during the Christmas holiday, they would distribute holiday cards, they would spend time with the elderly, they would serve food and perform for them. At this time, I would like to share a quick clip highlighting some of the events and activities of my students.
Let's go. Yeah, we're in drama class and drama class. Hey, no, I can yeah, we up in drama class and drama class. Yeah, we up in drama class and drama class. Yeah, we up in drama class. Drama. Okay, so we up in drama class just chilling. And I got my money to the ceiling. And the drama class is winning. The drama class in the game. Yeah, we up in drama class and drama class. Yeah, we up in drama class and drama class. Yeah, we up in drama class and drama class. Yeah, we drama class. Drama, yeah. We're booking drama class. And I'm hanging with my favorite cast. Doing no plays cause we got a pass. If you don't be first, then you wanna be last.
Behold, Oedipus, he who knew the famous riddle and rose to greatness. His good fortune was envy of all. See him now and see how the waves of disaster have swallowed him up.
No way that he could have suspected what we were really after. We were all shook careful.
And I'm saying you blew it.
Blew it? That's not a fair assessment.
Blew it, right?
Now, Josh. What? Is everything okay with him? Seriously, what's going on?
I don't think it's going to work out between us.
What? Why not?
He's just not right for me. I don't know. He has a lot growing up to do.
Don't they all? Seriously, come on.
We love it. It's really great. It's really
How do you
productive.
memorize your parts?
Well, we all have different methods in memorizing.
Tomorrow for the weekend. When he comes back, I want a sniffer dog in the area as soon as he comes through customs.
At the time.
Actually,
I think it could be.
Otherwise, I'll throw a tantrum and embarrass her. That's really funny.
Everyone's like, oh, what a bad kid. And I'm like,
Again, thank you for joining the GaDOE community. I am looking forward to taking this journey with you all. I encourage you to follow us on all social media platforms, and don't forget to click the notification button once you join to receive notifications and updates. Again, thanks for watching.